Hello students, welcome to the Pole Science of Class 11 Arts, and today we will proceed with the discussions of important points from part B of the Pole Science book, that is Political Theory, and we will start discussing about the first chapter of this part B, that is Political Theory and Introduction. So let us proceed then. So number one point regarding to political theory is political theory has been made one of the subfields with the rise of political science as a subject. That means we know political science as a subject, but under that also it is subdivided into political theory with the various aspects of political science. So political theory is the study of state from the philosophical and empirical point of view. That means if we want to discuss and know about political theory, then we may say that it is the study of state. And it is the study of state from two aspects, from the philosophical aspects also and from the empirical aspects also. So regarding political theory manages an understanding between the persons and the state and sort out the ways to improve the shortcomings. That means if it is the study of state from both philosophical and empirical point of view, that means that it is the understanding between the persons and the state. That means the individuals living in that state. It is the understanding between those people living in the state and also about the state. And what are the shortcomings or what are the demerits related to those persons and the state that can be sorted out through political theory, because it always tries and find out the ways to improve the shortcomings whatever has happened between the persons and the state living. After that, a political theory can be referred to as a combination of thoughts, philosophies and science or arts. So a political theory can be referred to as what? A combination of, we know that it is the study of state, but it is the study of state. It also helps to define and to improve the relations between the persons and the state. Along with that, it can also be referred to as the combination of thoughts, philosophies and science or arts. So these three things also can be referred to for the political theory, as a combination of thoughts, as a philosophy, as a science or arts. So politics is referred to struggle for power to maintain relationship between power and authority, which is a desire of an act of will. So if we want to understand about politics, it is actually a struggle for power. That means if politics is there, that means everyone will struggle for power to maintain relationship between power and authority. If you have power and if you don't have authority, that will not work. So both the things are required at the same pace. That means power and authority along with all. Clear? After that, political theory deals with how the present has come and on what assumptions it may stay, and in future what it will lead. So as political theory deals with the study of the state, so it basically deals with how the present has come and on what assumptions it may stay. That means if it is there, that means we need to find assumptions also, that on what factors it may stay, and on future also what can be the result if it stays there. So on all these things, it deals with the present also, it deals with the past also, and it deals with the future concerned also, how the political theory will be dealing with the people of that country and the state. So India is a free country where issues concerning freedom, equality and democracy arise from time to time and implemented also by intervention of the state. So as we know that our country India is an independent country where issues concerning freedom, equality and democracy arise from time to time. That means whatever the issues are there regarding the safeguard of freedom, the safeguarding of equality, the safeguarding of democracy, there are various aspects from the constitution side also, and what the government is doing in safeguarding that rights regarded to freedom, equality and democracy are also there, and these issues will always be there, and from time to time it can be there can be an issues concerning this, and it is also implemented by the intervention of the state. That means, as already we know that all the safeguards regarding to freedom, equality and democracy are given to us through the Constitution of India, which cannot be changed. But then also, if some issues are there, that can be resolved with the intervention of the state. So as freedom has been guaranteed by the Constitution, still many discriminatory issues are raised and encountered with the interpretations of the state. So in a large picture, if we see, we know that all the freedom, fundamental rights has been guaranteed to us by the Constitution of India, and through that only we know that we should get all the rights and freedoms. But still there are many discriminatory issues are raised. Sometimes it happens that after analyzing it and after going through all these guaranteed rights given by the Constitution, there are some discriminatory issues which are being raised and encountered also. So all these problems are there where issues are made, but after all, at last, it is solved through proper discussions between the governments and their people. So as freedom has been guaranteed by the Constitution, still many discriminatory issues are raised and encountered with the interpretations of the state. Along with the changes in time and periods, people's aspirations and needs are also changed and new dimensions are discovered as well. So when freedom, after being guaranteed by the Constitution also, it has some issues being raised. Along with that, what happens? Along with time and periods that have gone, people's aspirations and needs are also changed. That means we as a people, if we are living in a country like India, we know that these rights, this freedom are given to us, but our aspirations and needs also change from time to time. And if our aspirations and needs are changed from time to time, that means what? New dimensions are also discovered. That means in regard to the Constitution, many new amendments have been done and had been added to the Constitution because of the fact that the people's aspirations and needs are changing, and along with that the amendments are added so that Constitution can be up to dated. After that comes political theories debate and examine the diverse meaning and opinions in a systematic manner and easily to be understood by the ordinary peoples. That means political theory involves the study of the state. That means what? Along with the study of the state, it is both debating also, and while debating it is examining also the diverse meaning and opinions. That means it is going through various diversified ways also, and on the other hand it is also looking onto the opinions in a very systematic manner. So that why the political theory is involved in all this debate, discussions, examining all this, and whatever the opinions are coming, it is holding it in a systematic way because of the fact that whatever the thing are amended or whatever the things are there in the Indian Constitution, that should be very easily understandable to the ordinary people. Because in a country like India, where large populations are there, in which some are literate, some may not be literate as that, so it will be difficult for every people to understand if there are toughness in understanding any of the scheme related or any of the freedom related issues are there. It should be understandable to all the people living in the country, be literate or be it illiterate. So for that, political theories examines and goes through every meaning and opinions in a systematic way, so that whatever the things are there, it should be easily should be understood to ordinary people. Clear? So with this I will wind up the topic related to the political theory and introduction, which is chapter number 1 of part B. So kindly note down all these important points in your copy. Thank you.